What's going on, guys? It's your pal T-Bro here, coming back at you with another hybrid kit bash custom dinosaur video. In the video today, I'm going to be making the Spinoraptor from Jurassic World Evolution. I saw some images on Instagram of this particular animal, and they look really awesome. I personally have never played the game before, so I'm assuming that the only dinosaurs that are combined here are a Spinosaurus and a Velociraptor, so those are the parts that I'm going to be using. Of course, I'm recycling old dinosaur parts that I have, not buying anything new for this custom. I'm using the Hasbro Velociraptor base for the body, and I'm also using a couple of old different Spinosaurus parts from some Jurassic Park 3 figures that I've had that have been broken, and I'm using the sail off of the Aqua Attack Spinosaurus. And I'm using the lower jaw from the the Rock'em Sock'em Robots style of toy thing that they had back for Jurassic Park 3 with the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus fighty thing. I don't know. It's just the lower jaw that I had laying around, and I figured it looked pretty good, and it was in scale with the Hasbro Raptor head. And I figured that would give me my Spinosaurus parts and my Velociraptor parts. So now on to my least favorite thing, and that is sculpting. I'm using Milliput for this, which is a 2-part epoxy putty. Mix them both together, and you have like 3 or 4 hour work time before it hardens like a rock. So I'm using this to fill in all the gaps and to kind of blend the body together with the kit bashed parts that I have attached to it. I'm also using some water, dipping my finger in it and rubbing it around, and it will it'll help kind of get the putty moving in the direction that I need it to go in. Water is your friend when using Milliput, so always keep that in mind. Like I said, sculpting is my least favorite thing to do. I'm not really good at it. I'm slowly getting a little bit better than I used to be, but it's still it's mind numbing for me. I enjoy painting more than I do sculpting, but sometimes you just have to get the putty out and fill in cracks and sculpt stuff. So I have this little silicone tip sculpting tool is what I'm using to sculpt the lines, trying to match them as close as I can to the Hasbro Raptor body. And I'm making the little fleshy membrane mouth parts with some Milliput here, and I'm kind of moving them into place with the end of my sculpting tool. So now that I have it all assembled here, I'm going to start priming it, and I'm just priming it in a white Createx white paint. I have the folded arms on here right now, but I actually end up not using the folded arms in the end. I go with the longer outstretched attack arms, and they look 100 times better. It just gives it that more aggressive, dynamic pose. And so I just ended up just tossing the folded arms up, set them aside for another project. Now I'm going in with some tan here. This is just tan, actually mixed with the white primer that I was just using, and kind of like a light beige skin tone color. I wasn't too sure while I was painting this what direction I wanted to go in, but I kind of want to go with more of a Lost World tiger stripe kind of vibe. So those are the colors that I'm sticking with. Lots of yellows, oranges, browns, that sort of thing. This is Createx Yellow Ochre that I'm putting down next. And do a couple coats on this, kind of building up different shadow areas and stuff like that. And this is a light rust color. If you're doing this by hand, you can always achieve these light rust colors, mixing burnt umber and an orange together, and just kind of play around with the mixture until you get the right tone that you're going for. But all the colors that I'm using are different versions of rust colors, and I kind of focus on all the ridges and the high sections down inside the little eye sockets and everything. And now I'm going in with transparent burnt umber. Like I said, I'm just really, while I'm painting this, I'm just kind of slapping paint on, kind of experimenting, seeing where it takes it. So no real set pattern or anything that I'm going for, just kind of being creative at this point. And for the eyeball, I'm just using this orange. It's a pumpkin orange, just acrylic paint, thinned down a little bit. And for the membrane part here, this is just a flesh tone from Vallejo, but any kind of flesh tone would work. Claws, obviously, going with black, basic. And now I'm going in with Createx Transparent Brown, and I'm going to start adding some stripes and some dots and picking out a lot of the brown scales and stuff. Like I said, these Hasbro Raptors are great for doing customs. The only problem with them is they're really light on the details, so certain spots of the Raptor you have to kind of paint the scales on because they're non-existent. So that's basically what I'm doing in here is I'm going in with the transparent brown and lightly accenting all these little bumps and scales and scoots and stuff like that, just to kind of give it a little dimension and make it look cool, you know. Always go for the rule of cool. Same thing here, just randomly picking out some of the little scaling and stuff that's not there on the model itself. It's unfortunate too. I kind of wish that the detailing was a little bit better on these and not so soft. And for the teeth here, I'm using the color that I normally use on all my teeth. And it's just a white with a yellow mixed together just to kind of give it that off-white, vintage white kind of look. Pretty easy. And then I put the arms back on, and I'm just kind of picking out some of the details on here. And I'll go back in with the airbrush with some transparent brown and blend it all together. Give it a coat of matte varnish, and this Spinoraptor is done. Guys, I appreciate you all sticking around and watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, for more Jurassic Park related content, you guys know where to find me. Links will be in the description box below. You guys take care, and I will see you in the next video.